But here in this Cox's 4, they had been commanding until 2 weeks ago when Italy beat them. And those two are now side by side and out again. So looking forward to seeing how this one goes, Martin.
Matt Aldridge in the 3 seat saying, come towards us. Up in the bows, Ollie Wilkes, the former competitive swimmer. There's the Italians, the powerhouse, Abagnale and Vicino, more of Giuseppe in the middle of the race. This French 4 hope to medal in the Olympics. The Turlan brothers, twins in that boat, Thibaut and Guillaume. New Romanian 4, Madrila, Semchuk, Barreiro and Chidosa. Then we are looking over at the Swiss, Chirich, Roth, Brunner and Schatzler. And on this, there's a Swiss, sorry, that we are looking at. That was a French, I think, on camera. That Kai Schatzler in the stroke seat from Lucerne. And Dimitri Hula just looking around there with the white cap on, up in the bows. Lovely lad, speaks great English. He's from the city of Kherson in Ukraine, which has obviously suffered a lot in the war. The rowing club's sadly been bombed and levelled. But Dimitri is here.
So it's interesting that there was a bit of arm waving. Those shoes that hold the bows of the boats in place disappeared under the water, and it looks like they've just realigned them and brought them back up. But the crews now seem to be in position. I assume we'll still have to have a call over before it's time to go. So Imogen, how do you deal with something like this when there's a little bit of a delay?
Yeah, you don't want it to throw you off. You just want to try and stay calm, wait for it, run over your race plan, and thankfully not too much of a delay, about to set off.
Greg, who's your money on, Britain or Italy?
You've got to go with GB.
In that case, I better go with Italy, Imogen, only because you've gone for Great Britain.
Italians jumped out the start, Britain with a bit of a slow start. Here go Romania in the stroke seats, Ciprian Chidosa.
Yeah, high rate of striking from both the Italians and the Romanians, and they've just got a canvas lead in the first 100 metres.
Yeah, really high up in the rate as we see him going for it off the start there, Martin.
Yeah, there's Giuseppe Vicino, the great man, has struggled to get through a back injury. He says when he packs his suitcase, he has to arrange all the objects from his clothing to his supplements in a specific order like a puzzle. He describes himself as stubborn, adrenaline-filled, and let's not forget, charismatic. The 3-man in the Italian 4.
And he's backing up the stroke man, who's the new addition to the crew this year, and he really helped them get over the finish line in Varese to push past the British crew. You can see they've gone out here at 41 strokes a minute, the British lower rating, and in danger of moving a bit too far back or letting this Italian crew get away from them.
Yeah, this Italian crew, they've been coming in hot to these regattas because they are still yet to qualify for the Paris Olympics. It's a new combination this season, so they've got to be race ready for that race earlier in the season than the rest of them. It's
interesting, although they're back, there's Freddie Davison there. The British do have the fastest boat speed on the lake, and traditionally, first 250, they seem to have been a bit slow, but they tend to want to hit the front coming through to the 1,000 metres.
Well, we're coming up to the 500, and that's the thing, Martin. That's what you want, the fastest boat speed and the lowest rate. That's what the British 4 had been used to doing. They're back into that pattern now as we take a look in here. Freddie Davison in that stroke seat. They're down at 36 strokes a minute, and they're churning it out, Imogen.
Yeah, there's just a call there made from David Ambler in the 2 seat. You can see him just say go as they came through the 500 metres. So they're going to be in their mid-race rhythm now and hoping to make a good dent in the middle of this race.
The Romanian crew is still hanging in there. They were 7th at the World Championships last year, got hold of that qualifying place. We haven't seen them race yet this year. There's only one of that crew remaining from the crew that qualified, so see how they can get on in this top field first showing of the year. Yeah,
a bit of tape on one of the forearms there. Makes you worry a little bit with the headwinds and stuff. You want to keep loose and keep it tapping along without it getting too tense. They're riding in 3rd position at the moment.
Yeah, the British creeping up close to the Italians, but basically they were ahead of the Italians this time in Varese, so they're having to work a lot harder at this stage of the race just to get their bows level with the Italians.
Well, that's your guess that they're working harder to do that. They might be just into a really nice rhythm.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, they might well have just changed their race plan a little bit. Maybe they put a little bit too much in the middle of Varese, so they've decided to hold back a little bit and just ease out through the middle rather than having to work really hard and having nothing for the sprint. They're underrating the Italians by at least 2 strokes per minute at the moment, and the Romanians are 3 pips over that. Very typical for the Romanian crews, very upright, very dynamic off the front end.
So at this stage of the race, I'd say the Italians, with their fearsome sprint finish, are in the driving seat. And the British have got to make, I would guess, half, 2/3 of a length at least in this third quarter. There's Nicholas Cole, the Italian who is headed to Oxford from Syracuse University, 1v8. The man from Gavirati, the other end of the lake at Varese.
And we've got a fascinating race going on here because the British have been in that steady pace and they've now actually got their bow in front, and I think they're actually moving here in this third quarter. And I think Italy will have to really do something special if they're to turn this around, because always when you've led and then someone rows through you, it's very difficult to then change the pace and come back.
Great shot from our training camera. Romania on the right of your picture. It's the French four. They'll want to do something special. At the moment, they're out of the medals. It is the Italians and the British. You can see on the left of your picture that fascinating race developing. The British with that flawless technique, honed in. Well, I said half a length, 2/3 of a length, and they have got clear water.
There
That
you
is
go.
incredible.
That's the third 500 that they were planning, I'm sure. They've managed to walk away. They've got a length, nearly clear water on the Italians now, but I think this race for the second and third, the silver and bronze, is really hotting up.
Yeah, I think something similar is happening in this race for third and fourth as well, that the Romanians were really high rating, working hard. The French were more calm and quiet, like this British crew, and I think the French are working their way back through the French crew as well for their bronze medal.
Freddie Davison's dad, Al, is one of those 4 dads who's going to row down the Thames in that charity raising row for Julie Digby, who sadly passed away last year. He's here watching. Is that enough margin? The Italians will start to throw in their sprint. Nicholas Cole will wind them up. Giuseppe Vicino in the 3 seat. There he is. You can see with his hair in a bun. Great shot from the drone. The French just challenging the Romanians. It's important for the French to medal here, Imogen.
Yeah, really important. I don't know what to call between the Romanians and the French here, but the GB crew there, the men's 4, current world champions, European champions last year, they've got clear water on the field at the moment. It's looking like it's theirs to lose. It's a big margin to overturn in just a couple of weeks from the World Cup last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, big performance this one from the British 4. They've opened that gap up for that gold medal position. The Italians are looking solid in silver, but it's all about this race. You can see the stroke rates now. The Romanians have been over 40 the whole way, probably 42 strokes a minute from 500 to go. The French desperately trying to get that bow in front, and it's, as you can see, pretty much side by side.
They look pretty cool, calm and collected, not like they did in Varese where they were panicked by the Italians who are sprinting. They're just going to get an overlap. You can see Dave Ambler in the 2 seat, the St Paul's schoolboy, as is Freddie Davison gritting his teeth. The Italians have got the overlap, but it's too little, too late, and the French have just got the margin on the Romanians as they come up to the line. The world champions will get a gold medal here, unlike in Varese 2 weeks ago where Italy beat them. Great Britain take the European gold again. Italy have to settle for silver. France, relief for them, they do grab a bronze medal, and Romania, disappointment for Antonio Colomnici's boys who settle for 4th. Switzerland will come in 5th, and it's the Ukrainians in 6th place.
Well, strong performance from the British crew there. They seemed really confident, I thought, off the start. The rest of the race did go away from them a little bit, but they stayed in their lane and just eased their way up there on that far side. I'm sure it's a good place to be on lane 1. I'm sure in that middle 1,000 there could be a bit of advantage, and the British really capitalised on it.
I didn't expect that third quarter from them, that margin. I mean, there isn't much between lane 1 and lane 2, I would suggest. And to actually, what did they put into the Italians, like a whole length in that third quarter?
That's what it looked like, and the Italians definitely weren't going to let them just walk away as well. They were fighting every stroke to the line too. And the Romanians too, just missing out. They were at like 45 for the last 200 metres trying to get back on that French crew that got bronze.
Well, DJ Cavell is playing very superstitious, and I'm not sure if any of the PR3 Cops 4s. There's confirmation, 6:17, great win for the British. Payback.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Great Britain. Hölgyeim és uraim, a győztes csapat és a közösségi egyik egyik elgyakorlások